Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, Casey Jones. One of my all-time TMNT characters is coming in the new live-action movie, as portrayed by Stephen Amell. So let's check out his brand new action figure. As you can see, it comes on the same style blister card packaging we've seen for the other Out of the Shadows figures. Features an image of the 4 turtles from the film up on the right-hand corner, and the blister bubble fully showcases our action figure within. If you rotate that around to the back side of the box, we get a look at all the other figures available in the Out of the Shadows lineup. So let's go ahead and pull Casey Jones outside of the packaging and take a closer look at him. Now, as you can see right out the box, he's definitely done in that more realistic style, as in, he's one of the human characters, so he's got more natural proportions. They're a bit smaller as well. We're used to seeing a lot of these human characters from cartoons and such in the TMNT toy line, so they're still usually a lot more beefed up or muscular or bulky. So it does look a little off-putting when you first look at these guys. But this is the same style that we've seen Shredder and the Foot Soldier, and even looking at the first movie line, this is how April O'Neil looked. She was a lot smaller in size. And so we can kind of compare this guy to some of the turtles in the line. I'm going to go and do that right here at the start, just so you can see how he measures up to characters like the turtles here. Mikey is, of course, one of our smaller turtles. Raphael is one of the larger turtles. You can see that Casey Jones actually stands right about the same height as Raphael. I'm okay with that as far as the toys go, but if we're talking about the proportions in the film, the turtles all seem to be hulking and huge compared to the humans, so they should probably be a bit taller. But toy-wise, I'm okay with this height standard. I prefer the old style where the turtles are shorter than humans anyway, so whatever, that's a personal preference thing. But you can see how much more thin his build is than the turtles. The turtles are bigger, have those more kind of cartoony proportions than the Casey Jones figure does here. So let's go ahead and look at the details on Casey Jones. And we're going to start with the mask, the head, that famous hockey mask there. One thing I was kind of shocked by is the fact that the mask is not removable. It's actually part of the sculpt, or it's glued on. I can't really tell. It does almost look like it's a separate piece. I wonder if there's an actual face molded under there. Probably not, honestly. This was definitely designed to not be removed. I thought that the Casey Jones mask was going to be removable, but maybe that's just because it looked like it was from inside the box. But as you can see, it's not. It's on the head permanently. I like the design of the mask. I think the shape of the mask is pretty cool. It's a little big, but it looks a little big in the movie too. So you can see it's got a bit of a wash on there, so it's kind of dirtied up. It's meant to look like it's dirty. One of the things I don't like is that Casey's eyes underneath the mask are just straight black. It makes him look like he's possessed or like he's a Funko Pop vinyl or something. I don't know. I don't dig that at all. I wish he had much more human-looking eyes underneath there. It's hard to see if there's an actual mouth or anything underneath. And you can see the rest of the head is pretty plain as far as details go. I mean, the hair is just kind of brown paint on a bald head. There's really no sculpted details for the hair. So it's a bit plain looking, and that's a bit of a bummer. I do like the mask, like I said. I just wish we had a little bit more to the overall design up here. Now you can see the rest of the figure, he's kind of wearing like a black leather jacket with a gray hoodie and a green shirt underneath that. It's all painted, which is nice, so it brings out all the sculpted details there. I'm glad that the hood's not just the same color as the jacket. You will notice we got some unfortunate paint splotches back here. It looks like it's probably all molded in black and they painted the gray on, and we've got lots of paint scraping on there, which is a bit of a bummer. And it's kind of plain otherwise, but we got like the hands are painted skin tone and everything there. The jeans are a straight blue. It looks like it might be molded in blue plastic, and again, I do have some paint splotches in some spots. You can see the pins are also black pins on the articulation points, and then the boots are just straight black with no other details. So on one hand, I feel like he looks pretty decent from looking at him on the upper body straight on, because at least we've got a variance in colors here. I think the mask looks good, but he does look kind of plain at the same time. It's weird. It's a weird mixture there. He could definitely be a lot more detailed. It's obvious that in this line, all of the mutant characters got all of the details, and the human characters are just not quite as exciting. So let's take a look at the articulation on Casey Jones here. You can see that head's on a ball joint, which allows the head to kind of look up and down, move side to side. You can actually rotate it pretty much all the way around there. You got the ball-like joints at the shoulders, so the arms can go upwards, forwards, and backwards. We have just a standard elbow bend. There's no swivels at the elbows on Casey Jones, but we do have wrist swivels there. No articulation in the torso or the waist. It's all a solid sculpt here. He does have hinge joints at the thighs. They're really kind of odd. You can see you have to turn the legs all the way out to kind of get them to move upwards or outwards. They don't articulate too far. They do move okay forwards and backwards at a pretty good rate. You can kind of get a little bit of a swivel there as well. Then we just have standard joints at the knees. There's no swivels at the knees. And then there's nothing in the boots or the ankles. So his articulation is very limited. You're not going to get a lot of poses out of him. In fact, since you can't really rotate the legs much or turn the ankles, there's really only one position you can get him to actually stay standing. So that's all we're getting with articulation with Casey. Now, Casey features 3 accessories. First of all, we got his hockey stick, because you can't have Casey Jones without a hockey stick. It's made of a very pliable plastic. You can see it's real gummy. Kind of wish it was a little bit more sturdy. It's also just a straight black plastic. None of the weapons are painted. Pretty typical for Ninja Turtles. You can get him to hold this two-handed or one-handed. It's pretty nice. He gets a better grip on it down here on the handle. It definitely grips a little bit better. But, you know, it's kind of cool because you can still at least get those two-handed poses. You can get them kind of holding it over his shoulder, which is pretty nice there. I wish he came with a bag, like a sports bag or something that he can pose it in, or some other weapons, but unfortunately, weapons-wise, all we get is the hockey stick. The other 2 accessories are these really funky-looking skates. Now, the Nick Turtles version of Casey has rollerblades also, so it's kind of neat that we are kind of carrying that over into the film. They're really funky-looking. It looks like they're makeshift skates. You can see they just have one wheel on either end there. They're solid black plastic. They are not real wheels. They are fully molded plastic. They fit onto the boots just like this. You can see his feet kind of squeeze right in there. It has a nice tight grip. You can get them to balance with the skates on. They look a little goofy, but you can get them posed in some skating poses if you kind of play around with them there. So he looks pretty great if you kind of match him up. Like what I said with the Turtles, you can see scale-wise, it's pretty great if you match him up with April O'Neil. We don't have April in the current Out of the Shadows line, but if you've got April from the first movie, you can kind of put her in there, and they actually match up pretty well together. They look like they're done in the same style. They definitely look like they're from the same line. And until we get an April in the Out of the Shadows line, this is the best we're going to get with these 2. Alright guys, it's comparison time. Just for fun, here's Casey Jones standing alongside several other versions of the character from various Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy lines, so you can really see the difference between him and all the others. As you can see, he is the smallest of all of the other Casey Jones figures we've ever had. And here he is alongside Green Arrow, because Stephen ML. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at the brand new Casey Jones action figure. A bit of a mixed bag on this one. I don't dislike this one as much as I dislike Shredder. There's actually a few things about him I kind of do like. I think the look is fine. I like the mask. And I'm very curious to see how Stephen Amell plays this character in the movie. I will say that he's a bit more clean-cut and proper-looking than I expect Casey Jones usually to appear. You always picture Casey Jones being a bit more rough and tumble, a bit more rugged, right? And this just looks a little too proper, right? He's got, like, clean clothes. They're not tattered. I mean, he looks kind of preppy, except he's got that hockey mask on. So, I don't know. The figure itself, it's slightly boring. It's not as exciting as characters like Bebop and Rocksteady or even the 4 Turtles. But it's our first Casey Jones figure in movie style. He's going to be appearing in the new movie. So if you guys are looking to pick this one up, he is hitting store shelves right now. So happy hunting, my friends. And hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on one of my Turtles reviews. Until next time, my friends.